Good afternoon, everyone. We're saving the best for last. So we're down to the last session for today, and we're going to give you a super demo of lighting the future of AML with agentic AI. I'm Stephanie Ora from SAS, working in the Global Financial Crime team, and I'm happy to be presenting with Andras from Consortix, who represents the hackathon group that I was lucky to mentor in last year's hackathon, where they won the Banking Trustworthy AI and Agentic AI hackathon win. And that's what we're going to present to you today. So when it comes to the AML landscape that we have a lot of demands for banks across the world where there's a need for efficiency, effectiveness, there needs to be trust, velocity, and innovation. And it's an interesting trend that we've been seeing the past years where in a world of AML where banks are barely using artificial intelligence and machine learning given the regulatory nature of the topic, there's a lot of interest on generative AI, in particular agentic AI, which is seen to be what is likely to make the lives of a lot of compliance officers, business and IT included, and also the developers and the regulators also to make sure that there's actually a lot of efficiency and focus on finding the needle in the haystack. So with having said that, there's still a lot of needs when it comes to governance in terms of having an enterprise platform, an enterprise agentic AI platform where governance and transparency plus human and AI in the loop remains to be key. So that's what we're going to present to you today, an agent for AML that aims to identify how can we solve the efficiency and effectiveness challenge that we've been dealing with through the use of AI agents, AI models, chatbot between business and IT to bridge the gap between skill sets that you have in different organizations, and also having model transparency and AI governance in place. So with that said, I'm passing over the mic to Andras to give you a super demo of what this is all about.
Thank you, Stephanie, for the kind introduction. Hello, everybody. Before I show you what we have achieved, I would like to give you some context. So I spent my last 20 years working in the anti-financial crime domain, and it seems to me that the challenge we are facing today is unchanged. So we are still looking for the needle in the haystack, say so. I lived through the evolution. We started with automated monitoring solutions, which gave us structure, daily processing, so we turned from static Excel sheets to machines doing the job. But we also ended up with a lot of alerts, and the painful part is that more than 90% of these alerts is false positive, unproductive. When AI entered the scene, back at that time it was called machine learning, and it gave us high hopes, but most of the organizations faced the imbalance between the positive and the negative training data sets, because we had billions of transactions, but only a small portion is true positives. Now with the rise of agentic AI, there is a possibility for a shift. So we have the possibility to not just tune our engines to get better rates, but we can utilize the power of machines to help us sort the hay from the needles. So the everyday repetitive manual exercise. This was our starting idea when we created Aurora, which is a modular agentic AI suite. And the aim is to cover the whole compliance workflow from start to end. So as you see, we have various use cases which can be run independently from the others, but there is a complete suite. We started with rule creation, we covered validation, and we also give solution to support the triage and investigation. We built this on SAS Viya, SAS AML, and the SAS Intelligent Decisioning. So all the standard components, but we extended with our expertise and additional configuration. And you could ask, what's under the hood? So under the hood is intelligent decisions, nested flows. So flow inside the flow and inside the flow. If you want to get more details, I have my whole team here on the ground, so we can, after the presentation, we are more than happy to answer your questions, and we can really go into the configuration. By the end of these nested flows, we have a huge library of Python scripts which take care of the agentic part. Okay, so as I mentioned, we started at the very beginning of the compliance workflow. We have to create rules. Very often we have to change our existing rules, and we need to test it, validate it, and put it into production. Even if we have the framework, the low-code, no-code framework, creating these tasks takes time and effort. So we wanted to change that. What you have with Aurora is the possibility to utilize your own natural language, and via prompting, you can create new scenarios in a controlled and auditable way. I will show you how it looks. So our manager starts with prompting a new scenario, specifying different aspects of it. And I would like to draw your attention that our agent asks back for clarification and feedback, confirmation, so that we make sure that at the end of the loop, there's always a human doing the decision part. Now, in this situation, we see that something is missing, so we need to add additional information. Once we do that, the revalidation of our prompt is done. And once we get to a phase that the completeness checker lets through our prompt, you will see that certain steps are taken in the background via agents. Most importantly, for this use case, a new scenario is created, which you can access directly in the framework like you would have created it manually. I will show you how it looks. So all the native building blocks of the scenario is available. So you have your parameters, you have your aggregations, and you have the combined rule. There is also a test run and the results accessible. Again, just like you would have created it with your own hands. Once we are satisfied checking what we have created, there comes the very important part of validating this with synthetic data sets and test cases. This is my favorite part, and I will tell you why. So all the steps of this validation creation is documented, and you can, in a similar fashion, with the native objects of the solution, access it in the framework. You can see all the steps that were done in the background. You can go through that. It is stored in the solution. So in case of an audit, you will have it ready. I really like the validation and testing use case, because this is the use case that you can utilize with the least risk. Why? Because you can utilize it on your existing solution without any changes. You can run it on your existing rule set. It will create you test cases. It will create you results. And most importantly, all your scenarios are going to be documented. So just imagine that when you need to do regular changes to your configuration, it always comes with an additional burden of being able to document that, so that you have your whole detection logic for audit purposes in one document. Now, this agent can help you with that. So if you wish, you can just schedule this, and every week or every month you will always have an up-to-date documentation and test results of your existing scenario set. As I mentioned, the lowest risk use case to implement agentic AI in your current solution. And now we can move on to the part to support the most painful part of the investigators' daily work. How do we support the investigation? How do we supply data for this team so that they can get to a much quicker and reliable decision, and again, keeping them in the loop. So what we've done here is that you can utilize, again, an agent with your natural language prompts. You can query your database. You can query basically any type of data source that you give access to this agent so that it enriches your investigation data. In this use case, you see that there is a conversation going on with the agent looking for information behind the household. Whatever data you gather here, it can be converted into case narratives automatically. You can store it for your audits. And also, you can utilize this data set to create SAR reports at the end of the compliance workflow. So the key takeaways for Aurora: you can use Vaya for extensions. This is really a platform which is meant for this. You can build your additional functionality regardless of the vertical you are using, let it be fraud, AML, or risk. Second one, Aurora is modular, so you can choose your own use case you start with, or you can go for the whole compliance workflow support. Third, bring your own AI, but use domain experts, meaning that because of this modular fashion, we can make use of anything that you've already developed. We can include these as modular steps so that everything is reusable. You don't need to start from scratch. We save you this risk of needing to transfer to a whole new solution and getting rid of anything valuable that you already have. And the fourth one, if you are starting your agentic AI journey, start with the least risky use case. My favorite one, the documentation, testing, and validation piece. Back to you, Stephanie.
So what you have seen is how we leverage existing solutions like SaaS anti-money laundering, financial crime analytics, and with the same tools and platform that we continuously improve with the changes in technology that we see today. We have an extension such as Aurora, which helps elevate and achieve efficiency in different types of processes. And it's worth noting that, with this 15-minute super demo session, that's just the tip of the iceberg. One part that we could also do with agentic AI is, for example, enhancing post-alert scoring model, which was also done as part of this hackathon, where we don't necessarily use agents to do detection, but we improve the way where we utilize scenario information and utilize that features to improve the models that you can potentially use for prioritization if, for example, some of you are already using the anti-money laundering solution. We've tested these results as part of this project, and for example, it's not only the time efficiency that you get from utilizing technologies such as agentic AI, but you could also see that with comparing your original models plus an enhanced models that's up to date with the different types of scenarios that gets direct input from your business users. The business impact is huge when it comes to increasing true positives, having higher model reliability, and also having sharper alert segregation that allows your teams to make better decisions. And all of those are just basically improvements in processes with by utilizing agents to speed up these processes. So to summarize some of the results, how do we see the future of AML with agentic AI? We're really hoping to see more organizations seeing time savings when it comes to scenario development, automated testing and documentation that typically takes different teams in order for it to be completed in one go. Second is better results with direct impact from business users that typically does not touch the administration platform of the solution. You also get the ability to improve your results when it comes to detecting suspicious activities, be that sticking with rule-based scenarios or facilitating your move towards model-based prioritization that ultimately helps with efficiency and effectiveness. And most importantly, still having that with trust in place, as Andres mentioned, his favorite part is documentation. The regulator's favorite part is also the documentations that they expect from organizations like yourself. And with this solution, that just keeps human in the loop while getting all of the more boring tasks automated with the help of technology. So hope you enjoy this super demo session and have a good rest of the day and the week here at SAS Innovate. Thank you.